A lot of times there's the fear that keeps you trapped in the relationship because the new supply will have it all. You should just leave. It's not that big a deal. Why are you still stuck with that person? Haven't you got over them yet? Have you ever heard different phrases like that? Have you ever had people that have been in your life that you viewed as friends or even family that seem to play down the abuse that you've suffered? Seem to play down the crazy making of being stuck with a toxic person. They're like, I don't want to be with this person, or I know I shouldn't be with this person in moments of clarity, but you keep going back. The question I want to pose to you today is, why do you stay stuck? Why do you stay trapped with a narcissist? We're going to touch on two main topics today, and it's going to be about fear and trauma bond. And I want to be able to kind of talk to you about that and show you a little bit of some of the steps of why people get stuck with a narcissist, why they stay stuck longer than what they want to be, and then also some of the aspects of how we actually heal, grow, and change from that. We've done a couple different videos on trauma bond. That's particularly what I work with people on a day-to-day basis, is to help people actually break free from the trauma bond and the rumination stage that they get stuck in, of knowing, hey, this is a toxic relationship. I know I don't want to be with this person. I know I want to get away, but they just send me that text, they just give me that call, and I just get sucked back in. If that's you today and you get sucked back into those toxic relationships, reach out. I would love to be able to talk to you. I'd love to be able to help you walk through that process of breaking free. You can reach me at rawmotivations.com. I meet with people every single day, all across the globe, trying to help them in their development, in their change, in their healing, to rewire their mindset, to break free from the toxicity, and help get clarity as they move forward into the future. If you guys want to hear the wife's perspective, she just recently joined me on a new podcast that we've been putting up. So you can look it up as Trauma, Drama, and Life on Apple Podcasts. We'd actually love to be able to have you on there. We've actually only done 3 or 4 episodes at the time of this recording, and we've seen it jump pretty high already in like the stats just in Apple Podcasts. I've been like shocked. But a lot of people keep saying like, we want to know more. We want to hear about it. If you're curious, check that out on Apple Podcasts. If you want to hear some topics or things like that, message me on Instagram, or send me an email at ben@rawmotivations.com. I'd love to be able to hear from you as well of what you want to see, what you want to hear. If you don't follow already, we've got several different platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Everything's under Raw Motivations. The podcast is under Raw Motivations. The one with me and my wife, that's Trauma, Drama, and Life podcast. If you haven't had a chance to look at the NARC app, all you can do is just go to narcapp.com, N-A-R-C-A-P-P, narcapp.com, to be able to see the resources there that we provide, the community, the accountability, the weekly lives, the monthly coaching, different things like that to help you heal, grow, change, and develop. So check that out. We'd love to have you be involved in that community, and we'd love for you to be here. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist, and I run Raw Motivations. And what we stand on, the goal that we're here to be and to present to you, is to spread awareness, growth, healing, and change. So we're going to do that by diving right in. So why do you stay trapped with a narcissist? You ever had like those parents, friends, and family, the people in your life being like, hey, you should just leave. It's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. Like, why aren't you over it yet? And you typically have people like this that are saying things along these lines because they have no idea the abuse that you've had to suffer through. They have no idea what narcissistic abuse does mentally and emotionally, and how it screws up so many different aspects of life that affect not just mentally and emotionally, but physically, anxiety, like OCD, like different things that pop up that you're just like, this is all new. I haven't experienced this before, because you haven't experienced that type of toxicity in your life. See, a lot of times people don't understand. And what it does is when people don't understand and they tend to, shun you or kind of put you down or things like that, a lot of times it just makes the problem worse. It makes you feel even more trapped. It makes you feel even more isolated. That no one understands me. That no one actually can connect with what I'm going through. A lot of times when I'm talking to people on one-on-ones and listening, sometimes it's like, is this the first time you've told people the story? And they're like, yeah. Because like every time I try to tell someone, like they don't understand, or they think that I'm crazy. A lot of times people feel trapped because there's not other people that are willing to listen, that are willing to try to understand. The friends, the family, they'll say they leave, get over it, and different things like that. And they're trying to do it in a helpful state and a helpful idea of like, hey, just do this. But that advice doesn't really help, right? Just makes you feel even more trapped and even more alone. Well, the reason why people are trapped in a narcissistic relationship, probably one of the biggest reasons, is fear. Afraid of the unknown. Afraid of what's going to happen. Afraid of what is coming down the pipe if this keeps going the way it's going. You never know. Is the person that's coming in the door, the toxic person, are they going to be happy, or are they going to get mad? Are they going to flip the switch like really quick and be upset, or are they going to let something slide? Are they going to, how are they going to respond? So a lot of times you have fear in a couple different ways. I've got 6 different ways. So the fear a lot of times is based on how the abuser will respond. Are they going to be violent, from a day-to-day? Are they going to be aggressive in what they're saying and what they're doing and how they're screaming at you? Different things like that. Are they going to do a smear campaign? Once you leave them, you're like, I'm concerned, when I leave, I'm going to get smeared. When I leave, they're going to make me look out to be crazy. When I leave, they're going to release videos of us, maybe private videos, or maybe videos that make you out to be the abuser in the relationship because of reactive abuse. A lot of times there's also the fear of how others will judge you. This is huge in different aspects when you're coming up in a Christian or a religious environment, where divorce is frowned upon, or divorce is you are a bad person, or you are a bad Christian, or a bad believer, or bad whatever. You're bad because you're getting a divorce. And so many times people struggle with this, and then they go into the church, or they meet with a pastor or a priest or something like that, and they're trying to keep that couple together, even though there's abuse that's happening in the relationship. But there's a fear there of, I can't do this because of what other people will think, and how other people, not even the narcissist, how other people will shame me for the things that I'm having to go through, the things that I'm having to do to keep my peace and to keep my safety. A lot of times there's fear of leaving a narcissist. There's fear of failure. You find this a lot of times with people that are high achievers and want to perform and want to do really well in life in general, but you have people that they don't want to give up on the marriage or on the relationship, because then it also says, hey, I had a part in ruining that. Or the failure was, I wasn't able to fix this person. I wasn't able to help them be better. I wasn't able to be the person I thought I was going to be in this relationship, to be that one, the one that was going to change them. A lot of times that fear of failure will keep people stuck in the relationship longer and longer, because they keep trying to win the other person over, to heal toxicity with just love. And unfortunately, that's not enough. A lot of times there's the fear that keeps you trapped in the relationship because the new supply will have it all. That maybe they'll have a better relationship. Maybe they'll change for that person. Maybe they'll have everything I ever wanted. Not realizing that a lot of times they're just going to have the same exact abuse, but coded in a different style. But that's a fear that keeps you trapped. There's a fear of not being able to cope, not being able to stay away, to actually have that no contact and be like, hey, I'm not gonna contact them anymore. A lot of times this is when you've already tried it multiple times, when you've gone back and forth multiple times. You're like, I don't think I can do it. I've already left them and went no contact 25 times, and I keep coming back. And you're worried if you can actually succeed in breaking that no contact and staying free. A lot of times there's a fear of not being good enough, not being worth enough, not having the confidence of can I actually go out and make these decisions, make these things, because I was told I was always too stupid, or I couldn't do it, or I needed their validation, or them to check off on it, or them to say, hey, the budget's approved in that area. I don't know. I don't think I'm worth enough. So there's the different fears that a lot of times people struggle with. And what's happening is a lot of times they get locked in that keeps you stuck in that relationship longer than what it should. Well, I also mentioned trauma bond, fear and trauma bond. Trauma bond, you've got 4 things underneath that. The hope that they're going to change. I was there's a maybe. They might change. It's going to happen. And it never does. The potential that person has of, hey, maybe they'll actually work out their full potential of how they used to be. Of understanding, hey, this person, they seem this amazing. Maybe that potential that was there of who they could be will resonate farther, but oftentimes it doesn't. The cognitive dissonance of holding 2 opposing thoughts of, he loves me and he hates me. She says she loves me, but her actions do completely different. Which one do I actually believe? And the intermittent reinforcement that keeps you coming back. The praising and the devaluing. The idealization, the devaluation. The back and forth, the push and pull that makes you addicted to maybe I'm going to get praised. Maybe I'm going to get validated. Let me keep trying. That's why a lot of times people get addicted to gambling, playing the lottery, different things, because they're holding on to a maybe, a possibility, versus the reality of what's actually happening on a day-to-day basis. If you're struggling with any of these things, would love to be able to talk to you, would love to be able to help you walk through the process. But when it comes down to it, it's truth, understanding the truth of the situation, because that's the only thing that'll start to set you free. Having that acceptance of like, hey, this happened and this no longer defines my worth. This person has put themselves in my life for such a long period of time, making me feel like I'm isolated and that I can't get away and that I can't make decisions for myself, understanding that's not true. But that's something they've put on you to try to be able to mold you and make you be the servant and the person that they want. It also comes down to rewiring your mindset, changing the mindset of the story that you're believing. And we offer tools to try to be able to help you on that process, because the story you're believing is crucial. If you're believing a story that's based on fantasy, then you'll always go down that road. And you'll never end up living in the truth of the situation. Last thing I want to be able to share with you and let you know today is just simply this. You're not crazy. You're not alone. And you're not hopeless. Reach out for help.